When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah. I promise you'll never leave me. When it comes to you and me, there's no one else I'd rather be with. Baby, I won't let you down. I got it, I know you need it. Love is it when you're around. Oh, please say that you believe it. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't wanna lose you. Baby, don't go. Don't go. When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah. When I get you back, oh yeah. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah. 'Cause I don't wanna lose you. I hope you feel that way too. No, I don't wanna lose you. Baby, don't go. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah. I promise you'll never leave me. When it comes to you and me, there's no one else I'd rather be with. When I get you back, oh yeah. Oh. When I get you back, oh yeah. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah. Oh, when I get you back, oh yeah.
Ride, hide, kind. What it do, folks? Yuck, yuck, yuck. Yes, it's time. And everybody who bet Mr. Camera Junkie, just go ahead and pay up. Anybody who took those odds from MCJ, go ahead and pay up, sucker, because you lost. Because, yes, he was correct. That's what happens behind the scenes. All right, so, gang, welcome to This Week in Live. I'll be your host for this here show, Graham. Wondering if I sound weird to myself, but it could just be I am actually weird. Let me go ahead and throw it to my co-host, Miss Diana Glatney. How you doing, Miss Diana Glatney?
It's a wonderful day on this side of this cup of Joe. So good to be here. Glad to be seen.
Yes. And Mr. David Blackman in the street, still touching stuff after we didn't start. Oh, he getting cut.
Oh no, I'm getting I promise. I'm like Blake Shelton. This is water. I promise you, this is water right here. So,
all right,
allegedly,
so
take a sip.
I have mine as well. However, but I'm not using autofocus. It's all in Japanese, so you have no idea what's in it.
We won't be able to read. No.
Exactly.
It's the good stuff. The good.
You know how we do. I don't know. Something was going on, and I think I said too much bad things about Panasonic because I have to like reset my settings on my autofocus because we know it has good autofocus, but it was acting weird, so I turned it off, and I have never turned it back because I used to never use it until I got to Sigma. I like never used autofocus anyway. I always liked it where, you know, I knew my face was fitting to be in focus. So it's kind of funny, but that's where we be at in these streets. So let's see what's popping. So how's
happening?
everything going right now? What's cracking? What's good in the hood?
It's good. Everything's going great.
Oh, you trying to become a football coach?
I am. I'm doing the high school football thing. I'm super excited.
Are you having flashbacks of yesteryear? I mean, like, what brought this up?
No, just being a part of these kids. I do love that. I love Friday night games.
David, I know exactly what you mean, but it's funny when you say it like, these kids these days, like, it just make you sound like you 50,000 years old.
Hey, man, I am 50,000 years old.
It was like, David's like, I'm finna do this wedding. I'm like, oh, that's cool. What you gonna do? I'm marrying my sister. And I'm like, yeah, see, when you from Louisiana, it sounds so different.
Okay. Might need clarification.
Clarification. I am ordaining. Oh no, that's not the right word.
I'm officiating.
There you go. That's the right word. Like, it is what I mean. You said it right, but I don't know why it just sounds extra funny when you say it. Oh, thank you, Paul. Paul is always on top of things. Paul said, "This is what a question looked like." Okay, so bear with me, folks. I'll tell you the truth, because I'll be honest with you, folks. What I'm actually doing is I'm trying to reset Chrome, because for some reason it just decided to take all the memory and spike it in the middle of the intro, which it hadn't done prior. It just decided, like, right now, because you finna go live, let me just go ahead and spike this joint. And it went crazy. Now it's starting to calm down. Okay, so I just thought it was funny that out of random, like, I have no idea which tab was doing it, but it must have been a failed tab, because that does happen in Chrome sometimes. Like, a tab will take off and it just occupied all the memory, but like the mouse won't moving, wasn't nothing happening. But now I got it, because I just went by Command W. That's your secret. Click on Chrome and start Command Wing tabs, and then you'll find the secret one, and your memory will just come back to normal. So yeah, here we go.
What is Command W? I'm curious now.
Close. It's closing every Mac application in the planet. There are the basics that go in the file menu, and you look at almost any of them. Command N would normally make you a new document. Command O will open. Command S will save. Right? And then Command P will print. Command W will close the tab or the window. That's every single Mac app. So you kind of know what those are.
I guess I don't close the tabs. That's interesting. I'm glad you did that,
neither does Diana. Don't get it twisted.
Mind your freaking business, okay? We starting this off rough. Apparently, I'm not finna be disrespected out here at Niche Street. No, you know what happened yesterday? So what's funny was I was like, I was on the phone with Doc, and I'm like, are you having issues with the script? He's like, no, my script is working. Everything is fantastic. And I'm like, well, my script ain't working and nothing's working. And then I'm like, okay, well, I gotta close. I had a team meeting, and then I had hop back on with Doc or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, stuff is not working. Stuff started crashing. And I'm just like, what is going on? What was funny was Google Chrome crashed as well. And is, again, probably the same issue. However, it was like 32 of those new beach ball Google Chrome just like spread out. None of them had icons or whatever. I was like, I took a screenshot. I was like, I think it's starting to be a problem. Even with the tab groups and stuff, I still just have a ton. It's not helping. So if you are a loved one, a little blue commercial time, if you are a loved one, have 32 internet tabs open, call 1-800-GET-HELP.
You are in the multiverse, Diana. That's all there is to it,
I'm out here.
11
David,
beach balls.
Here's why this is funny, okay? Because at the end, we were just about to hang up, and I was like, well, shucky darn. My description is stuck, too. I was talking mad spicy.
All kind of stuff.
I was like, nah, man, it's just you. My joint don't never had no problem.
Yeah.
I just use, like, the latest update and blah, blah, blah. And then I, like, looked. And I was like, yo, it's still transcribing. We have been on the, we've been on the phone for like an hour plus. And it's still, David, the reason why I did the black and white is because I was hiding from Diana yelling at me. And then now you just goofing off.
Well, I am goofing. I liked it. I mean, you were goofing off because I'm not doing this stuff.
David, he deserved it. He still need to be in black and white because
come on.
He was, I mean, look, neck roll and all of that. My description. I was like, can you open it and just? I'm being super humble, like trying to problem solve here. And I'm like, well, can you just check and see? He's like, I bet you ain't this now. Just like all of it. And I'm just like, man, whatever. And he's like, well, I guess you need to send a support ticket. I'm like, yeah, I already did that. I was just curious if mine's working fine. I transcript some right now. He's
No
32
cap.
seconds later, no, you can't.
No cap on the real. That is for sure what happened. And it's absolutely hilarious to me because I was talking pure spice. I was like Ginger Spice out here.
You would have thought I would have forgot child support payment. It was like, and there was a couple other stuff. Nikki shared your Instagram post. What she do that for? F you that. And I'm like, yo, what's all this animosity? So I'm glad this script ripped the rug right from under thine own
it was
feet.
just hella funny. It was hella funny. Like, I can't even call it. Like,
Oh my
that was
gosh.
probably one of the funniest things that ever happened. And yes, I gotta say, I deserved that one. All right,
All right,
so
well, hold on. Everybody's wearing their glasses. Damn it! I'm gonna go ahead and put
because it's
my
like
official
see
LGL
clearly
glasses
or
on.
don't see. You know what?
Yeah.
You know when your camera when you've ever seen like where somebody's doing like a Panasonic video and their camera goes out of focus. That's what it feels like taking the glasses off. The blades of grass. I was watching like this outdoor video and I'm like, I can take my glasses off. I don't need them all the time. I don't know what I was thinking because all the grass just went blur. It just like straight wall of nothing. And then I put the glasses on and I'm like, you see each individual blade. So yeah, we're wearing glasses not for fashion. This ain't Mosifus stream out here.
I don't know. I'm wearing them for
sight.
fashion, not
This
to
is
see.
for sight.
This is for fashion.
yeah, I'm pretty
so.
sure that Cephas just be wearing them for the hang of it. All right.
Right.
So where we want to start this week? What's the best story to start? We got a lot.
I don't know, man. They got some good. I mean, that YouTube changes for the search engine stuff is good, but you camera folk, I mean, y'all can.
We can
Wherever
start
you
anywhere.
wanna go, we
It's
can
pretty.
go.
Yeah, we got a good
Anywhere.
lineup of stories. I mean, if we want to talk hateration for camera shades, we can go. Canon's always an easy target.
Not as good as Casey's Panasonic autofocus song.
Oh my gosh!
That song
So-
had me thinking of Kevin Cox because Casey looked a little bit like Kevin already. so when he was doing the Panasonic autofocus song, I don't know. I'm looking at Casey, but I'm just calling it Kevin Cox the whole time.
Yep.
I was just
You got to
like,
pull it up. You got to pull it up. So for those of you that don't know, if you enjoy camera humor or you into the gear and all that stuff, I've been following an account called Camera Conspiracies for a long time, and it's like literally since he started his channel. And it's basically like camera humor, all the stuff that we talk about, but in his own spin and his own jokes or whatever. It's super funny. And even further funny, it's like this dude writes his own music. Like, so he don't buy music from anybody. He makes his own stuff, but it's so funny. And so his original song was All I Want Is the Perfect Camera, which is part of his intro or whatever. And so I think it's like yesterday, he released a new song called the Panasonic autofocus song. And the shirt that he's wearing is part of his merch that came from one of his jokes, which is the Panasonic Pony of Hope, which is like you hope that it focuses on the pony, but the pony on the shirt is blurry because the Panasonic camera can't focus. So if you want to support Casey, you get a Panasonic Pony of Hope shirt. That's out of focus. Oh, we can't hear the audio. We can't hear the audio, dog.
no,
We gotta
I'm
play
not.
it.
I'm not playing it because I'm not getting no content straight. Messing
It
around
won't.
with
It
y'all.
won't. It won't.
Man, I don't have loop back set up, so I'd have to turn off.
We don't need loop for YouTube. Or
Yeah.
is this the camera?
No. So what
overlay.
happens is I got to turn off mix minus.
Okay, we won't
because
talk.
because you guys are called in.
I'm muting
won't talk.
now. Engage mute.
Oh, that's odd. If you bring it in through a screen share, it doesn't do that. Hold on. Didn't know that. No, it should work.
When notices, I
I think they'll fix it in a firmware made by a blind werewolf in his underwear. Pulsing in the background, it's their only disadvantage. And their color science is so unlike Canon's is. I tried to track my baby's first steps. It was in that moment I knew that I was powerless. The GH6 is one of our last chances for autofocus that doesn't switch to praying mantises. I'm tired of hoping my camera's misbehaving. They say it's skill I lack and that I suck at my job. Pulsing in the background, I think I suck at my job.
The running is just.
Pulsing in the background,
It's
I
hilarious.
suck at my job. Pulsing in
I'm telling you, it's Kevin Cox.
I suck at my job.
And then what happens if you mix Marquez and Alicio?
There you go.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I gotta hear the whole song. And here's the thing: most of the whole video is out of focus.
Oh my God, dude! It's too much. It's too much. I can't
Oh
handle
gosh.
it. I can't handle it. Casey is
The
wild.
whole freaking video is out of focus. Most of it's like he walk in front of the camera, it doesn't acquire focus, or like right at the end of the clip, it finally acquires focus. It's hilarious.
That's just too funny. The Panasonic autofocus, and that song is stuck in my head now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
I
okay,
think
look.
I suck
Okay, look.
at
Just
my
look at the avatar.
job.
Look at this avatar, and then look at Casey, and then look at Kevin, and look at Casey, and I'm on a horse with diamonds.
Well, we can't see Casey currently because he's out of focus.
And until about 2 months ago, when Kevin got the Sony, you couldn't see Kevin neither.
Dang, son.
Dang, son, where you find them?
Dang, son.
Oh my God. Oh, that's super funny. That's super funny. I'm just gonna skip all of this mess. That I'm gonna skip all of this mess just to find what
Zen looks
Kevin
like
had to
because
say. Oh, Greg, hush your mouth now. Hush your mouth. He said this
Oh,
only
my
could be improved with a persistent thumb in the corner. That's the old dad move where dad be like this in all of the shots. You're like, what the hell is going on? I used to think that, we looking at the photo album, right? And I used to be like, why is that little orange thing always there?
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny is, the Haitian side of the family, they be into some, things. And I used to be like, oh, man, it must be like ghosts or something in this house because I seen it on like Scooby-Doo
Right.
where when they
My
take the
baby's
picture and the
first
ghost be in the corner and it be something like that. So I'm like, we investigating the basement. We got the flashlight holding each other's shoulder like, yo, it's got to be a ghost out here because all of it come to find out, it was just Grandpa's finger. When I got older, I was like, oh, Gramps just always had his dang hand in the way. That's what it was. That's
Never
just
learned
super
from the
funny.
last 32 photos that got filmed, that got developed.
Look, he said that Kevin used to use his camera on manual focus. So that explains everything. Cox, that explains
Between
everything.
between this song and the one about the Nikon, it shoots on Nikon by the one guy. I don't know, David, if you heard that one. That's another one that's super funny. But
No.
I digress. It's hilarious. It's like
my goodness.
it's super funny. Super duper funny.
All right, so I want to touch this one real quick because it should be hella fast. But I just want to warn everybody now, your spending potential is your problem, not mine. Okay? Boom.
Oh yeah.
DJI launches the $300 ultralight mini SE drone in the U.S. that comes in under 249 grams so that you don't have to worry about getting the license in order for you to fly a drone. Doc, take it away.
Look at this, man. It's only $299. I have a
That's pretty
Mavic
inexpensive.
Air.
Yeah.
A
I got the
Mavic Air
Pro,
2. My Mavic Air 2 was like $500-$600 or something. I think.
Yeah.
I forget now, but it is an epic drone. This is roughly the same size So bigger than the Spark, but roughly in the air category. I think this might be the air replacement as they push more people towards the Mavic. But first thing, if you are a relatively new flyer, yes, Sam Newton, that's the guy. Sam Newton kills me. If you're a relatively new flyer, these are super easy to fly, like ridiculously easy to fly. But this is incredible, bro. As I was looking at all of the myriad things about it, like this is really, really
And don't
cool
try to play that game, well, such and such or whatever is cheaper, because the biggest difference is like when you launch these in the air and being able to take your hands off the controls and it hovers versus those other ones you see people going left, right, and all these other kind of they're trying to stabilize it just to get steady. And the thing you have to understand with DJI, for those of you that may be looking into drones or even other DJI products, DJI is really good with their software and firmware updates thereafter. So they have had plenty of experience and plenty of time when it comes to software. So it kind of doesn't matter what they put as far as the lens and the camera, not camera, but the drone body. The software is stellar, no matter which way you look at it. So that's the thing with like these price points. They're just making it more accessible, which I personally think is a fantastic idea. I'm really pumped and excited about that.
No, it's super crazy. Even they had, we got Emma the little Trello, which is technically DJI. They just kind of, licensed it under Trello.
Yep, I remember that came out.
The most amazing thing. But I've let Emma at 11 fly my Air 2. I shouldn't have said that because sometimes her mom watched this stream. Anyway, never mind.
Is that bad? Is that bad?
Man, her mom is paranoid that anything that they ever said anything bad about it on the news, it must really be bad. So, like, drones must be bad because, people use them to spy on people. Not that, okay, one or two Jack Weevils did it, and that's not.
They didn't need a drone to spy on people. They just chose that for their device that day.
Yeah. So it's just
Come on, man. It was Stranger Things that did it.
And well, you'd also remember too, like when everybody was first hating on drones and the news made a thing out of it, then all of a sudden the YouTube videos of the jour was to show like drone accidents, like getting it caught in some chick's hair at a wedding or crashing into something or causing somebody to fall off their bike. So it just became a thing. And I think all of that stuff compounded just made a lot of parents afraid of kids and their drones, So I don't blame her. It's the Cosmo circuit is what I call it. It's just easier to be afraid than learn how to do something. But the point of that is it's super easy to fly. And like, it kind of does its own thing. Some of the cool stuff that you can get as a shooter, like take this to a content creation perspective. You'll always see the ones where maybe they're driving to an event and you see them in their car on the single lane or double lane lonely road. And then there's a shot in the air and it's tracking the car. Tracking the car thing is money. Like you could drive for miles and have the drone up and just say, drone, follow the controller. You have the controller in the car and you throw it up like a couple 100 feet and it goes. And if a tree was to pop in the way, it just move around the tree and keep going. Like the collision detection is fantabulous. The ability for it to follow you. Oh, so like Keith, let's take Chief Keith for a minute. Throw it up in the air, right? And then you put the controller in the front pocket of your jersey or the back pocket of your jersey where the water goes. And you say, I want you to stay at this height, at this many feet behind me, and follow this jersey. And all you do is on the screen, you draw a little box around yourself. So you put your finger there and you go, it draws a box around your face and you turn it loose and then you go, you send it up. And so Keith just gets to pedaling. And until that thing run out of batteries, it's going to follow Keith. And you can have it follow from the front or you can have it follow from the back. Follow
or
from the front is
around.
crazy because that joint is flying backwards. You go like this and it's like with you. No matter where you go, it's like right there. So you just put it up and in front of you and then as you start to turn, like it knows, and it just, man, I can't call it.
Well, so Greg asked if like anybody's done a vlog with one and the walking vlog style. The answer is yes. The only thing that's to contend with is the audio from the propeller. So even with the lapel microphone, that's mostly set up to like reject background noise or whatever, it's still going to pick up the whirring of that unless it's further back away or whatever. But that's the only thing to contend with is noise. But yes, you have people that have done that. And even like, I like watching drone footage from the creator Young 360 because she will be on her bike and you will see it follow
Yes.
her and trail her.
Yeah, I'll show you guys.
You will see her creating content with it and stuff like that. I think she's an excellent use case of like how you could leverage using a drone when you're like more or less a solo creator and different stuff.
Yeah, and she goes on these dope travel missions and whatever. Yeah, Young is pretty dope. My homegirl Hannah, and then was flying an FPV, and they ran it into a rock in the ocean in Japan, which I thought was hilarious. They lost one, but I mean,
You
yeah,
just
it's still.
lost one. If
If you really, oh my God, that's funny. Do not start my musical Tourette's up in these streets.
it's so
This is
silly.
her Young 360. She's very good at explaining, her creator stuff, and she always goes into like sort of micro cameras. Is I guess what I would call her niche. She covers drones and pocket cameras and things of that nature, action cams and stuff like that. And yeah, she's pretty good. So she'll be a good person to watch and see her take on it. But to your point, Greg, real quick, what I have done in the past, it will take your iPhone audio as the master audio, right? So you can have your iPhone in your controller, and it will use the microphone on your audio as the audio for the piece while it's in the air. If you can get it high enough and far enough away that you don't really hear the whir anymore, but you still got a decent shot, then you can talk over the audio. Normally what you will end up doing is replicating the audio later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say. You just put the audio in later, which is normally why when you see these, it'll be SOP or sound over picture or sound over tape, depending on where you grew up in your video career.
Hashtag voiceover.
Yeah. Yes. Or you'll see. Sorry, I speak in broadcast terms. Or you'll see
My name is Doc Rock, and I'm a professional.
just the music. You'll have the nice epidemic track, and then they're not really saying anything. They just use it as a cut between. Yes. So yeah, it's pretty dope. Boom.
If you would like to hire Doc Rock to do your voiceovers, just go to his Buy Me a Coffee.
God damn. Actually, Keith, the funny thing about them is most places where you can't fly, it won't even let you take it off.
No, you can't. You can't even get off the ground.
Yeah.
You know what, Keith? Tell me something. I can't fly. Listen, I was talking about that literally yesterday because Doc was like, "Do you have a drone?" I'm like, "No." Why? I have drones, freaking the full size versions, all the time, all day long, 24/7. No, I did.
Can you still not fly within 5 miles
I-
of an airport or something?
I can't stand you.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We are now cleared the cabin. We've cleared 10,000 feet, and you can fly the drones.
So here's the thing with
This is Macho Man Randy Savage.
I hope you choke on that water.
I want and have to have that sound effect. I'm getting added to my.
Oh God. She's laughing, and I'm trying to not listen, but I can't not listen when I got this in my head. Oh my goodness.
So the thing is that no, I cannot fly. So here's the thing: you have airports, and then you have like the Arch, and then you have the military bases, and they are all in so close proximity. There is such a small, and I mean a very small. You wouldn't even be able to get good footage for the flight path. I would have to drive somewhere between 30 or 40 minutes away to go to a county where there is not any other small airports or other military bases around. So like just the nucleus of like the flight path, if you pull up the DJI app, I can't fly anywhere around here, like nowhere. I'd literally feel like I have to go out of town for the most part.
And it
to go
won't even fly
someplace.
if it's in a bad place, right?
Nope.
Right.
Yep.
You'll
You
get a thing.
Can't even take
so
off.
here, from where I live, I have a 450-foot cap with no license, right? So I'll get to like 450 feet and you're doing your thing. You're out there minding your business. So I was flying at the beach one day, kicking it with the little Chan. And then I was 450 cap all day. And then I turned it off. We stopped, had some little waters and some stuff. We have pineapple icy here. So eating the icy. Get ready to fly again. It's like you cannot fly above 150 feet. And I was like, what the? And it just changed in the middle of the day. I couldn't figure out why. So I came back and I hit up my pops. My pops has a license, so he has a different app. So he pulls up the app, and it's like, oh, President Obama just landed at the airport, right? Now, even though he's the ex-president, he comes home, right? And then so when he lands, they basically shut all of that mess down, so you don't cause any, security issues. So, and then the one time Pensy came out here, we couldn't fly, above 100-something feet.
Yeah. So and that's the other thing when coming into St. Louis Airport, is that it was Biden and somebody else that came, and it's like when the motorcade is passing, literally the entire sections of the highway, side roads, and for the most part everything for whatever their path is completely goes ghost. Like you can't get through, in or out, or nothing. Traffic got to reroute to a whole other section. So we've definitely seen that. So of course, even more so, like there's nothing, like you will never see a drone in like this general area ever. And if you did and you were going to fly over here, one, you can't, but you'd have to go someplace further and then get permission from air traffic control if you were going to be able to do that at all.
Dude, Greg, you got a dope spot because I've flown it in Highlands and in Cherry, in Denver, but you can't fly high near Fort Carson. If you go near Fort Carson, you can't fly high. But in Denver, they do everything high.
I was going to say, I was waiting for it.
Yeah. Oh, DC Rainmaker is my original guy. From way back when he first was on the Apple Watch checking, like, can you swim with the Apple Watch and stuff like that. He's a great guy for this kind of stuff. Speaking of someone with 52 tabs open, I see. I'm on the Diana comment area like 3 days ago, catching up on these comments.
Whatever, man. The shade for me right now is legit. All right.
Yes. All right, so here we go. Let me get into the next one. I think since we on cameras, where the hang did it go? All right, now I lost it. All right, here we go. No, don't allow. Stop it. Be quiet. So it's time for Diana's favorite subject, the Canon EOS R.
Oh, yeah.
The Canon EOS, it technically, they say it's EOS. Like,
EOS.
I don't know if that's a Greek god mythology reference or whatever. I think it is, or something thereabout. But EOS R, not EOS. They don't like it. But whatever. The Canon EOS. You're right. It's the EOS R3. Will eliminate lag and blackout for still shooters and will be announced shortly. And also, one thing I do like though, Canon has partnered with Tascam in addition to the R3 release and in addition to a new camcorder that's $4,500. Does 4K 60, 422 10-bit, and some other things, 1080p, 120 frames per second. A legit camcorder, but it's $4,500. And that
just sounds odd. They still make camcorders.
No,
David,
don't get it twisted, David.
It's not one of these.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, it's not one of these. Yeah, but technically, camcorder, and it's like a. I wouldn't even see baby cinema because cinema. Where is my English at today?
Semina.
I would say even something like the Canon C70 at that point is the better purchase. So, but I could see again some churches playing around. But for the price, $4,500 for that for $4,500, no, just no. But the Tascam digital interface audio thing that they're coming up with that will come with both of those, I do like. I do think that'll be good for Canon shooters. I think that'd be really neat, actually.
You know, the thing, I think a lot of people, you know, and to David's point, like, still the majority of what you see for certain productions will always need a camcorder, as we call it. And then this is the camcorder right here. Come here, switch tab. There we go. Extremely common. ENG, right? Let's discuss ENG, electronic news gathering, proper terminology, right? If you do an ENG style shooting, still super popular. Long-oriented event coverage, popular. Weddings, still popular. Sporting events where you're doing the college team is shooting the stuff for, say, NDTV, right? They're still on camcorder. There's a lot of reasons to still use a camcorder. So I think that the hybrid shooting category got people twisted, but there will always be camcorders because they do things that other ones can't do. And, I mean, think about gigantic sensor, a lot of times professional audio. So even Sony
This
has
one's a 1-inch, though.
Yeah.
This one's a 1-inch.
This is a baby camcorder. It's not like, okay,
It's
I
not,
shouldn't say
yeah.
that. In the professional
Panasonic.
space, this is a baby camcorder. The
Right,
things that people
right.
buy from Best Buy for $300, those are a little bit different. But yeah, in the pro broadcast space, or BMP as we
Because the
call it.
ones that Panasonic have, which I would say more or less are industry leading in that particular realm of things, you will see a lot of major organizations and churches actually use those or whatever, which makes sense. This one does have the dual pixel autofocus and even is boasting, you know, like eye autofocus and improved autofocus for what it's doing. But this is also considering the context that for a 1-inch sensor and the setup, you're pointing this at a stage that is very well lit, or you're using controlled lighting that is, again, well lit. So the whatever the scene or the setup and stuff like that for the who this may work best for, depending on the use case or whatever things that are built in that may be helpful to just have that one and done kind of a setup. For a lot of people and organizations, a professional grade camera, like even you think of the like an interchangeable lens version, like the Ursa Mini Pros. Those are great. Those are great. They're going to do manual focus anyway, so no big deal about the focus at that point. But this one, thankfully, has dual pixel autofocus.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at this in comparison with the current competition that's in this line, it is vaulty as far as the price. And then,
Oh, for sure.
Are you just going to mess with David and then do the who this to the Saint man? Is who that?
Who that?
Oh, Claudia, is who that? Not who this. That was funny. Who was talking with somebody? They should just go out there and be like, "Oh, I got a new thing. I got a new phone. Who this?" Let me just make sure. I think we covered most of the camera stuff real quick, except
Just-
for. Go ahead.
Only thing is, I was just going to make mention that we don't have to necessarily pull it up per se, but it's interesting. Sony A9 has been discontinued.
Come on, quick like that. It's funny on Luria stream the other day, we were talking, and you know, this question came up, which I might have been mean about, but I'm sorry. I'm gonna always be TLC and be actual and factual. Since anyway, it was like, so ZVE 10 versus the Sony A6000. Or then A6100. Is it better? And I'm like, yeah, because the A6000 came out in freaking 2014. Of course, it's better automatically, no matter what. Just ignore everything else. Just yes, it's better, right? It's been 7 years, and then against the 2-year-old camera, I'm like, yeah, it's better because although it has a lot of the similar things in the sensors, I can't speak now. The Bion's Exmor sensor, they've had a bunch of things that they've upgraded from time to time. Some have been firmware. Now they can hard code some of that in, leaving firmware space for new stuff. Again, it's just better. So I called that I strongly believe that the 6000X series is done. Like no more 60 whatever hundreds coming out anymore. It's over. 6600 and the 6100 will be the last two produced in that category because everybody kept thinking there'll be a 67. I think not the ZV-E10, the thing that comes out closer to the A7C, which will probably still be called Z something because it's their new flavor. That will be the replacement. I really don't believe there'll be another 6000.
Exactly. And that was my thing once we saw the ZV-E10, like it was officially announced, real photos leaked, and cameras in hands and all of that. Okay, well, we now have the camera that is more specific for video. If you want a camera body that's more specific for a hybrid use, most of that audience is trailing towards the full frame route. So if you want to go full frame primarily for video, A7C and whatever's going to come thereafter. You want an APS-C sensor size that wants to be more video based, ZV-E10 and the bodies there afterwards. The only thing with the A6600, it still holds true to a photography centric based body with the extra buttons, which is why I personally love mine. But moving forward, it honestly doesn't make sense. And whatever they would come after, if they gave one more camera to the APS-C lineup before they walked away from it, it's like it wouldn't be like the Bee's Knees Hall of Fame one that you would want. It still would be like, yeah, but what about, and missing stuff more or less. So at the point that the Sony A7 IV is going to come out, any of us A6400s, A6600 users that don't want the A7C because it's too close, don't want the ZV-E10 because maybe it's too close or we're fine with what we have, the A7 IV is that next logical move, which makes sense for Sony also because they are not producing APS-C glass. Third parties are, which like Tamron and stuff and Sigma, which Sony has a piece of the company. I think it's like 15% that they own of Tamron. So it makes sense when those lenses come out, that's fine. But they're full frame lenses though, not necessarily APS-C. So we can all migrate just fine with the one lens mount to full frame and still be fine. Even with our APS-C glass, you got the Super 35 mode in the full frame. We can migrate comfortably to full frame when the A7 IV comes out for what your needs are and still have more or less that hybrid-esque body. But I totally agree with you. I would be wishing still that there was an A7000-esque, balls to the wall, Bee's Knees Hall of Fame kind of camera. But realistically, I'm looking at the A7 IV if I want to, for real, upgrade past the A6600, in my opinion.
That makes sense to me. That makes absolute sense to me. And it's kind of trippy that it happened, but I just find that it's an older camera. The Mark II kind of took some of the buzz off of it for a little bit. And then, of course, there's the A7 IV, stuff coming around. So it was just out of place. And chip shortages means you don't get to do a lot of bumps. So it was just time.
Yeah.
All right.
Because why go through the extra work, though? You got further sensor type. You still have rolling shutter in 4K. You still don't have, even though the camera's doing 6K downsample into 4K, okay, I think it would take them more work to backtrack and make sure whatever this next APS sensor would be more in line with something that would matter. But it's like most of the Sony users, they may have APS-C bodies, but they primarily use full frame. So it's like, I already think they know with the market, the wants, the desires, it's not that big of a deal. And it's not. And it's not, and it's not, here's the biggest thing. It's not that big of a price jump for how much we paid for the A6600 and probably what the A7 IV is going to cost because it was so close to the A7 III. So it's like, you can shell out another $100 or $200, even $300 and go full frame and you won't care that you got more space and no crop. You know what I'm saying? As far as APS-C to full frame body. So they know we're going to jump anyway. So they're like, just hold on. We'll get you the A7 IV.
That's super funny. I'm just laughing at that. And I already did, PK. I already did. It's
we send new clips from him and his stream shutting down.
No, so then let's talk about this real quick because this is kind of hot fire if you ask me. Man, it's crazy. Wait for podcast moving to the Vox network. Gang, if you've been thinking about getting your little podcast started, and man, it is now the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. That's really
Talk
all.
to me. Talk to me.
Some of you guys will know that. Yeah, man, it is a trip, but it is definitely coming, and big time media are jumping into the podcast game. I mean, like headlong. And something they should have done eons ago, but they finally starting to catch up. There, you know what it is? You know when you're a little kid and you be first learning how to walk, you got to run it first because your head is so heavy, and then your feet got to catch up to your head, and eventually you make it straight. If you don't, you fall on your face or you fall on your butt, and then you go, oh, boom, fall down. Yeah, that's what big media is with podcasts right now. Their feet are finally catching up to their body, and they're scooping up podcasts galore to move it into their space, because this is what folks want to see nowadays.
And shout out to freaking David Hunt for sharing the post. Brother, I see you. I haven't been able to reply, but I see you sharing the podcast. I appreciate that.
There you go. I'm just saying, like, podcast is life, man. It's like football is life. Danny Rojas, podcast is life. It's coming.
I think, and that's the thing. So, like, when we were pulling the story, it's like we're going back through. I think it was like maybe let's go 12 to 18 months or so. When we saw that Joe Rogan made the announcement about his podcast, I shared about that in my Instagram stories. I'm like, here's what I'm projecting, because this is not any small move. And the deal that he cut for how much the value, assessed value of his podcast and his content was, it's like, okay, we're going to stop producing on YouTube. We're now moving to Spotify. And, you know, we're pulling in to get this deal. Then shortly thereafterwards, you saw the Joe Budden podcast move his stuff over to Patreon, and the deal that he was able to cut because of that. Now we see Marquez Brownlee moving his stuff over to Vox in regards to the paycheck and the stuff that, now again, you have to understand, people like, oh yeah, but they're big and this, that, or whatever. They started where everybody else started, which is where everyone starts. You never know how your content may mature over time, and the value, the assessed value that comes, because when we say, y'all get the ZV-1, how many of y'all bought the ZV-1? Most of y'all got it. When we was talking about the Rodecaster Pro, it's like, y'all need a Rodecaster Pro. Most of y'all bought it. Most of y'all probably have the ZV-E10 on pre-order, considered it, and you went ahead and ordered it afterwards. Most of y'all probably bought the Elgato Wave arm. Most of y'all, like, we can name gear after gear. So when we speak, and some like you have influencers that and entrepreneurs that are making moves, companies don't have that. You know how many ads like that they have spent, how many millions of dollars hoping to get that kind of, you know, conversion rate from sales and messages to or messaging into sales. It's very significant. So when you think about the stuff in the podcast, the average, similar to the average view duration on YouTube, which is how much people are getting through your show. And you can find those statistics in like your Apple podcast players and stuff like that or whatever, and go get into the data. And you see people are like completing 82, 87% of your podcast or whatever. They don't have that kind of stuff when it comes to their ads, you know, so really take a value into the content that you're creating.
Yeah, and I want to add in here, because you bring up some really, really good points. You don't have to be huge in order to reap the benefits or strike deals with companies and stuff, especially with podcasts, especially if you niche and stuff in your audience, because Diana's 100% right. People, these big brands want to reach their audience, and podcasts are a way that they can do that. I know, for example, I've got really, really good friends that have podcasts in the RV space, and they don't have Joe Rogan millions of listeners and followers, but their audience is big enough, even if it's in the thousands, for them to be able to reach that niche audience is huge, because people listen to them, they trust. It's no different than what Diana said. Go buy this, you know, this is the camera, this is the the audio processor. In the RV space, it's all the different stuff, the sewer hoses, the this, the that,
Right,
the whatever.
right,
People are running
right.
out, and they can tap into their audiences through these niche small podcasts and stuff, and they're saving because they are trusted. They are listening to the podcaster and stuff. So don't think, like she said, you got to be massively huge, because I've got friends that have struck deals with Winnebago, with Thor. They have
Yeah, don't
have
you know
deals.
Damian Ross?
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. Yeah, in the RV space, absolutely.
Right. So he has a whole freaking magazine and his
Yeah.
podcast and stuff
Yeah.
around. So
Yeah, those are the people that I'm speaking of. So like Winnebago's and Thor, which is the big company that owns most of the RV stuff.
yeah,
They will go in, sponsor, support, and jump in. Jayco, all this stuff, because
Yeah.
they have their niche audience. So you can, don't be afraid to niche, don't be afraid to start, and you build up any type of audience whatsoever in that podcast space. These big companies will jump
the
on it
number
and
one
stuff.
thing that's stopping podcasters from getting bigger and getting the type of deals that they think that they want?
people
Their
quit.
own mindset, their brain. Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Don. 100%.
Because, all right, so
Well, look, here, before you dive off into that, I want to say this one last thing on this, because we need to do this. And I know Ecamm's talking about it and stuff, and maybe they'll do it. So Heath Padgett, who has the RV Entrepreneur podcast, that's how I found him. That's how I found that community. He had a podcast interviewing RVers, and he built up this audience. But what he also did was he started a conference, the RV Entrepreneur Summit. Yes, there's an RV Entrepreneur Summit, and
It
it's
makes sense.
freaking awesome.
It makes sense.
And these brands have tapped into him, and that we need I know there's lots of meetups going on, and people are meeting each other in the community and stuff, but we do something beyond, just the podcasting or the YouTubing, where we're doing in-person events where we bring in the speakers and stuff. Like,
I don't know if you
Let's,
heard
you
about
know-
the pandemic thing.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
'cause if it
Well,
wasn't
that's
for that, they
hopefully-
would have already happened. So,
Yeah.
and then, time for a commercial break. We do have an event coming up.
yeah, leap into live. You cut me off.
This is
before
the
I was about
second
to
one,
bring all that
right?
stuff
So,
up.
it already exists. Trust me,
Right.
if it wasn't for the situation, Leap would be in
Well,
person.
No, I'm talking about us, even LGL or Ecamm. Ecamm has already
Trust,
got
if
the
it
leap
wasn't
into
for the
live.
situation, that would have already happened. That
Yeah.
just, is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. But I just the reason why I want to take that off the table, because it doesn't have to be in person. Every person in this thing has a dope camera and microphone. Every single
Yeah,
who still got a Yeti,
we just like meeting
except
our
for
friends, Don.
okay, none of these people got a Yeti. I was going to harass somebody, but everybody off the hook here. Everybody in this joint right now has a dope camera and a microphone. We don't have to wait until you can flesh. You like touching people. Miss D can't stand it. I sit somewhere in the middle.
I know. I like
it's
Yeti.
Limited
irrelevant.
time only like
I
the
would
McRib.
never let that be the thing to stop anything. That is 112% irrelevant.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying you stop it or anything. This is their path. I'm sharing. Their path has been this, and it has been massive.
Their path was
for
that
them.
at a time where you
Yeah.
could do that. Their path
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
exactly what we're doing right now if it happened now. So you can't even conflate the two in the same conversation.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My point is, start something, whether it's virtual or in person.
So start
On-
something
on
like the
with also.
second annual Leap in the live stream thing.
Well, I'm talking about us, me, you. I'm not talking about Leap into Live. I'm not talking about anybody else's. It doesn't matter who it is. If you are making widgets and you're talking about widgets online, start it. That's what I'm saying. Start it, virtual or in person. I'm an in-person person, but virtual too. Does that make sense?
I'm confused.
That's okay.
Important note that direct sales to large organizations very hard since the aggregation model is so important for folks in emergency space, in the emerging space. I wanted to say this because these guys also tried to come up with another. There's like whole brand new podcast companies popping out in the tech space, like old school podcast conglomerations like this exists. Has been, man, come on,
Luminary?
No. Luminary is relatively new. It was a bunch of celebrities tried to make their own thing.
You mean Lipson?
No. I was going to this.
Okay.
Not a podcast hosting service, but like
Okay.
one of the first people to step out and say, we're just going to take all of our friends' podcasts and put them in a single place. But they're big enough. They got their own, kind of advertising service. You can advertise on them. Most of the aggregators that you use now, most of the hosts that you use now have ways to become part of a monetization situation as well. So if you're on Podbean or Captivate or Buzzsprout or whatever, you can already jump into this stuff. I'm just saying it's going to get bigger. And here's one that is completely, I don't get it. I don't think their production stuff is any good, but it's good now. And I just want to show you what happens with a small podcast that is now massive. Okay? Look, even when you type Morbid into Google, the first thing that pops up is Morbid Podcast. These two chicks from Boston. And when they first started, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it was hot trash. It's super good now, right? And all they did was post once a week just talking about true crime stories, and they're massive. These guys are making tons of money, right? Here's another one. These guys, they're pulling in, I think, around $715,000 a month in Patreon. Just for this podcast.
Wow.
These guys will be probably one of the next joints to get bought by some major network. And it'll probably be like ID, which is Discovery anyway. But you know what I'm saying? So I can totally see these guys getting bought by some major network. And if they don't really need to, because they're making loot. They're making absolute loot. They have almost 1 million people on their Patreon. That's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's like, and to be honest with you, just to put things into scale, like, okay, so I do a weekly podcast. And when I'm doing my podcast every single week, literally every single week, we are declining offers for people wanting to pay for ad spots, or people asking, what does it take to be on your podcast? Because mine is just myself. I don't do... a lot of people, which is fine. It's just a personal preference of how you do your podcast, of like bringing on guests all the time, whatever floats your boat, or finds your lost remote. But for me, it's me. I come on, I sit, I do my thing, whatever. We're like, it's like 150 episodes overall on the RSS feed, but it's 60. I know 70 right now have been recorded because we're ahead, but it's like 70 since I rebranded it into the Video Simplified podcast. So I would say from the rebranding point forward, but it's like we get hits every single week because people are trying to get ad spots on the podcast, or what does it take to do whatever. And it's just like, no, because if anything is going to be an ad spot, it's going to be my stuff. You know what I'm saying? As far as that. And that's not to say don't take a paycheck, but I'm just saying you can get paid for ad spots. And it's constantly, hey, we want to add you in this. We want to do this now or whatever. Blah, 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 from mattresses to like freaking companies, different companies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because attention is huge on podcasts. The listen and completion rate is super successful. That's why this whole thing about online attention is false. Some things make people not want to watch continuously, but you got to think Joe Rogan has he uses that full no record limit stuff on his cameras. That's for sure. And you think about Joe Budden, unlimited recording on their stuff. They're good. So just got to, if you don't have a podcast, it's something worth considering. I'll say that. And for those of us that use Kajabi, I love Kajabi. I love using it. They introduced recently podcast hosting on their thing. It's a big deal. If you're not watching the numbers and statistics and the news articles coming out about podcasting, and we haven't talked about that a lot on the show, but it's really significant, y'all. It really, really is.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. Like, this is the time to start. Like, I have a new podcast in the works. You guys will find out soon. But yeah, it's a thing. It's coming, and it's crazy. And if you haven't started, just start. I'm just saying, just start. What's been actually making me take longer to start is I've been trying to sort of document it because I want to be able to use it to show the tutorials of how to start one from scratch, because my other one's been going for years. But yeah, it's out there. And then yeah, not a long story, but see, this is where we're at right now. We can't have any fun because of where we're at. So that's why I'm saying just agree with what David said. Start it, but just know you might have to start it virtually and don't whine about it. Just do it, because chances are it's going to be a while, and it sucks. We got 2 popping real short, and I'm supposed to get on a plane in 3 weeks, and it's looking more and more likely that's not going to happen, and I'm quite irritated. But hey, just be prepared to get it done, no matter which way, shape, or form. You got to get it done.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like people will listen to whatever it is you want to talk about. It's one guy that I know. His name's Jody Mayberry. Jody used to be a park ranger. So like the national parks or whatever, guys like you two can prevent forest fires. That guy.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to, it's like he started like park ranger leadership or something podcast or whatever. This guy has a huge following of other park rangers. I don't know how much more niche and specific you can get. And even to the point of being invited to speak at conferences to leaders of people that run the organizations and stuff that are over, you know, whatever different things about the park leaders and training people, hiring people, whatever. And they asked him to come speak. Why? Because they found his podcast and his content. He's got so many opportunities and stuff just based off of his around park leaders, like being a good leader in a freaking park. Like, so it doesn't matter what the thing is, you can have a good podcast about it. Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody who's into like national parks is probably going to check that out. You know, it's just, yeah, those niche audiences are huge and stuff. So, I mean, it's, you can do really, really well. You know, I can't tell you how many people bought composting toilet and sewer hoses and all that crap, you know, whenever they just mention it on the podcast and stuff, because they're trusted, you know.
So here's one real quick about it. Talk about big companies getting into it. Amazon is going out. I just saw the commercial yesterday. I was watching something on IMDb TV, right? Okay, I'll be honest. I was having a Aaron Sorkin withdrawal, okay? Because I love Aaron Sorkin because he writes the way I talk. He writes the way I think. Think really fast, extremely quippy. So love Aaron Sorkin. All of the Aaron Sorkin things, right? Newsroom, West Wing, like anything that he touched, you know.
That guy.
That's
Gotcha.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, the comments are like 100 miles an hour, but they're tight, right? So I said, I'm going to go back and watch one of the OGs. So I'm watching Sports Night. Fam, can I tell you that show is from 97, 98, and it still holds up to this day? Like, it's square and blurry because, hey, that's where we were. We were on, you know, we weren't anywhere near 720 yet. We were in like 460, and it's still good, though. You don't even care. So 2 things. One, its content is good. Nobody cares. But they started showing commercials where they're bringing in people like Oprah and other higher end celebrities to do Amazon lives. They're going to tell you what they got from Amazon, because celebrities buy it from Amazon. J-Lo in her backyard talking about how to style your backyard. Everybody know J-Lo got backyard. man, I'm just saying, man, this kind of content. Everybody who's here right now, you guys are. Everybody thinks it's old. Like, you guys are smart because everybody thinks it's old and like it's too late and you can't get in and blah blah blah. You guys are smart because you guys are here now. It ain't even begin to take off yet. We are like at the very beginning of cable TV when it was only 4 stations plus the UHF and the VHF in your neighborhood, and then cable came in. And they had like 35 stations. I remember the first commercial. We got 35 stations on cable. And everybody's like, shut your mouth. Ain't no content for 35 stations. And then there was one that just talked about animals. And we were like, what? We don't got to wait for Sunday after church to see Jacques Cousteau? Nope. We showing animals all day, every day. And we was like, shut your mouth. Take my money, right? Oh, we got this other one. We're going to show nothing but sports. Unheard of. You can't just show sports. There ain't but football on Sundays and basketball like twice a week and baseball like 3 times a week. How are you going to have enough to run sports 24/7? Well, they didn't start out 24/7. Talk about starting with what you got. ESPN started at 4 hours a day, then 6 hours a day, then 8 hours a day, then 12 hours a day, and then 24 hours a day. You only know of it as a 24-hour cable station. But I was there when they first started, and it was a small thing. Popped up just a little bit.
What was it? Ahmad Rashad had, it was like you saw him starting to get segments. And those segments started to span out into, it's not just Ahmad Rashad doing them and different things, and it's like starting to spread out, and it's like, oh, we got all these old guys, because that's the thing. It was like, which was so crazy about Kobe Bryant passing, and it was something that Charles Barkley made mention of. He's like, us, basketball guys and stuff in sports, like, we don't die early. Like, it's just a thing. Like, you're known to your now path post, getting out of the league, is you go work at like a sports station, you cover news stuff, like that's your role. You get into that, reporting on your craft and the field and stuff. And so, and honestly, that's where you saw all that, because you had all these older guys that was doing commercials and da-da-da-da-da, and it's like, we don't have to do commercials no more. We can just go work at the station, and that's what we can do. So it's very interesting how that dynamic played out. So fast forward to where we are now, it's like we're really, really early.
Nobody would give them credit, but ESPN is what turned sports into sports entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, before, sports was sports.
Right.
Right? The name ESPN stands for Entertainment and Sports Programming Network, period. That's what it actually means. And when Bill and Scott Rasmussen started it, like back in 79 or whatever, they decided that they were going to make sports be more like entertainment. So what they did is they were copying Entertainment Tonight with Mary Hart. Right? They decided
the little jingle.
Right. They were going to turn sports into what Mary Hart and John Tesh was doing with celebrity gossip. So they would not just cover the games, they would cover the lives of these people. They would show you inside baseball, so to speak, which is now a show. And and you see what it is now. We're literally about to get ESPN Ocho. Like, no joke. That was a joke back in the day, but it's about to come up. So this is why, guys, you are at the very beginning of a new thing. We are where cable TV was in 79. Right now, with creature created content instead of conglomeration created content.
Yeah.
So all of the people go ahead.
No. Sorry, Doc. I thought you were.
Those are all of the people that you listening to your family talking about. Oh man, it's so hard to grow. There's too much people out there. There's billions of creators. Yeah, there's 8 billion people. So you still got like room. You still got 7 billion chances.
Yeah, this thing is, they're still figuring it out and stuff. I mean, they're realizing that creators, the power of the internet is amazing, because creators don't have to have massive budgets and all this stuff. They can create something, put it out there, build an audience, and there's value in it and stuff. And Doc's 100% correct. we're still in the infancy of the internet, figuring we're the guinea pigs. All of us coming up in this stuff, we are the OGs, the godfathers, whatever you want to call us, guinea pigs. We're the ones that are kind of dialing this in and figuring this stuff out, and it's kind of awesome to be on that ride. Honestly,
it is dope. Yeah. It is dope. It is an amazing feeling, an amazing situation because, I mean, it's growing so rapidly, but at the same token, there's still a lot of people that think there's not space yet. That's the part that cracks me up.
Right.
I mean, when it all boils down to it, so many people are going to get 10 years, 20 years on from now and seeing what was possible, hearing these early stories and thinking, man, we thought that was big back then, having no clue of what that maturation process is going to look like over the next 10 or 20 years. And that's the thing. It's like, I remember talking to Sean Cannon. We was having a conversation. This is a long time ago. And he's like, what's your goals for, like your YouTube? And this is how crazy it was. He's like, he wanted to have a call. And he was like, whatever the proposed time was like doing my work. I was like at the job. And I was like, I can get away from the desk. Don't worry. I went in the conference room, locked the door, And so I'm on the call with Sean. And we talking, he's like, yeah, what's your goals for, YouTube, this, that, or whatever, what you're trying to do? I was like, man, I'm in this for the long haul. This was like early 2018. I was like, I'm in this for the long haul. But I also remember, not that far afterwards, that call, getting to a point of getting frustrated with my streams not looking right. Lights did not used to look right. So they would either have like a really magenta or a lime green hue to them. And the color accuracy of those were just off and horrible, especially for the price or whatever. But you look at them now, you can find good lights everywhere, color accurate, good lights everywhere. But you couldn't then. And I couldn't figure out the camera stuff. But I remember doing a live stream when I got off work. And it was like my aunt, a coworker, and somebody else joined. It was like 3 people the whole time. 20 minutes, hop off. Next morning, going into work, making my coffee and stuff like that. And just kind of leaned up and just kind of like, man, I'm wasting my time. This is a waste of time. Like, this is dumb. I just need to quit. And so this really was a thought I just had yesterday, just remembering this moment. And my coworker friend, this older black lady, Miss Deborah, came up to me. She was like, what's the matter with you? She's like, I saw you did your live stream thing. She's like, you're doing good. You're real good. Keep it up. And I'm like, I don't need this church pep talk stuff. It's all right, babe. I said it sucked. It was horrible. It looked bad. I sound bad. I just need to quit. She's like, don't quit. She's like, you got so much more in you than you think. And you don't see it. She was like, but keep going. Don't quit. And she would tell me that constantly. And she'd be like, how your stuff going? And I'm like, it's all right. Just like, she'd be like, keep doing it. And Miss Deborah would constantly encourage me. And I just remembered that. Fast forward, if I had quit, I wouldn't be here now. I definitely would be in the position I'm in right now. And this is getting through when the stuff sucks, when nobody's watching, when things aren't going right, when you're investing more money, then you're getting a return on that. And that's not gear related. That was like courses and events and all kinds of stuff. It's not getting a return at the rate of the investment rate. So, you know what I'm saying? Like again, fast forward 5 years later, even some of the bigger guys that were creators at that time, nowhere to be found. I can't even remember their name.
Damn,
for some of them.
That's what I'm talking about. I say it all the time. Most people don't remember those guys from back in the day.
Mm-hmm. At the Baggett's claim, we'll throw it away for you. We'll be taking right off after this.
Freaking Keith. All right, speed round. Speed round is going. I like this one. This one is dope to me because we've been telling folks for a long time the number 1 and number 2 search engines be running things. So this is for all of you folks who just be out here thinking that chasing the algorithm is what it is. Even YouTube, it's like, yo, this is our stuff. We just talked about this yesterday, right? We were like, everybody doing the algorithm thing, and YouTube be like, oh, that's cute. Hey, we moved this over here. You're like, what? But I just set up to check the new algorithm. And then see, look, boom, here it is. YouTube is making some changes to their search engine. And yeah, chapters is life. Chapters is life.
Yeah, I really
so
like
any
the
of my
fact
clients,
that they're translating all of the stuff in different languages, so I'll get to enjoy some of the amazing creators in other parts of the world that I don't even speak their language, but they're automatically going to translate it into your language and stuff. That's pretty amazing. That's
You
pretty
know the
cool.
best way to do that
Yeah.
is learn the language. 日本語の勉強いなさい. 한국말로 저는 한국말로입니다.
Did you just say you were Hungu Malone? Hungu Malone, bro?
Yeah. So I'm just
I'm
saying.
not. No comment. No comment.
Saying.
I will say about the YouTube chapters, like any of my clients is like they've been well aware of this because again, it's like you got to watch what happens before it gets announced. It don't matter what your space is or where you are, but if you're creating on a platform, you need to become well aware of that platform. So we've been watching this change happen for a while. You look at any of my YouTube videos, they got chapters. Look at any of my YouTube videos, they have transcriptions that we do, and we go in and make sure that we have. And so again, you're watching this stuff happen. If you are ever confused about what's about to happen on the social media platform, use that platform and watch how stuff changes for the better as a consumer, as a viewer. A lot of times long before YouTube will publicly announce the release of something, they're testing all the while. And so you'll notice a lot of different stuff. So I've been seeing this in the app, on desktop, on search for specific things. So take a care into learning these platforms that you are posting to versus complaining about it not being given to you of whatever success that you want to achieve.
Algorithm don't like me.
If here's the thing, what would you blame it on if nobody said the word algorithm to you? What would you blame it on?
Holla.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what to call it for. And most people are like, oh, the corporate America ladder and this, that, or whatever.
Where did you get that word from?
Yeah, it's like if you didn't have that phrase, what would you call it?
What would you call it? You know what
Right.
Clavel would say? I can't call it.
I can't call it.
Hey, so peep this, right? Now, some of you guys were around, right? I know Camera Junkie, he be in the same circles I be in when I be creeping. You heard this conversation come up in streams before. Oh, do you think putting in chapters is really worth it? Go to another person's stream. Hey, so-and-so creator who I think knows everything about everything, might have wrote a couple books about it. Do you think chapters are worth it? Okay. The person will say yes, or they'll say no, or whatever. People are always asking, is doing the right thing somehow worth it? Right? And the comment came up, and there was a heated conversation that came up recently because some quote-unquote big-time creator was like, I don't know why you guys are putting in these chapters. You're just messing up your watch time and screwing up your algorithm. And all these people trying to kiss that person's butt because they got a blue check mark next to their name basically validated what he said. Not many people came back with the true answer is you should be doing what is the right thing for your viewers, not what is the right thing for you and the algorithm, right? So it became a thing. So now, mark my words. YouTube is now practicing with clips, little pair of scissors that you can use to pull a clip out and either make a shorty out of it or put it in like the community post, right? Two things right now. Now that we know that this chapter thing is baked in now and they're going to use it, so do it. Let's write it down right now. Chapters are baked in now, so do it. Period. End of story. The next thing that they're working on is clips and the community section, the community posts. Some of you don't got it yet, but as you get to a certain number of subs, your community posts will come through.
1,000 subscribers.
What's going to happen now? Mark my words. If you frequent any of the other streams, say from Daryl or Nick or Owen or Brian G or Roberto or Daniel D, whomever, people will be in their comments right now. Do you think doing clips is worth it? Do you think doing the community post is worth it? Mark my words. This is what you're going to see. If YouTube is practicing it, it's because they're planning on bringing it. And once they're bringing it, it's part of the way they decide what to recommend your content to. That's the algorithm that everyone speaks of. They use all of these elements to decide how to better serve your viewers. They are never doing anything per se. I shouldn't say that, it doesn't sound right, but they're not doing a lot to make sure that you as a creator are comfortable. They want you to make it easy for you to create content. They want it easy for you to be able to have an experience that makes your content creation smoother, but their customers are the people watching. So are your customers are the people watching. Actually, I take it back. Their customers are the advertisers, and the way that they feed their advertisers is to get more people watching. That's the reality of it all. So when they say, hey, here's something, test this out and let us know, you should just do it because it's probably fitting to work.
Especially if it makes the viewer's life easier. So
Holla.
my rule of thumb is always, think about the end user. So chapters they're dope as hell. It's, before they even were making this thing.
That's the funny part. Everybody use it. And if you go to search for something right now, right? Let's just say I want to know about 750 watt e-bike motors. Right? So if I went 500 watt versus 750 watt e-bike, right? In Google. I can't even type. I put e-bike. Right?
E-bike?
So I'm going to go, you know what? You should go to the scene right here. Okay, so all I'm doing is typing in 750 watt or 500 watt versus 750 watt e-bike, right? And then I'm going to just go ahead and press go. Just random blankety blank search. As you scroll, this one doesn't have enough. Oh, here's the videos. And this is what I want you to see. Straight away, there's a video by NYC E-Wheels. I gotta follow this dude because he's been around since 2017. And he has this chapter's 3 key moments from this video, right? Yeah. His competition down here ain't did such a thing. The average person, nobody gets spicy and be like, I would click this one because she cute or whatever, right? Which one would your brain just normally levitate to as a standard issue, non-drunk, non-high human being?
Yeah.
The one that took you directly. The one that took you directly to what you wanted to know.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's all said and done, the most stupid thing that gets bounced around on YouTube from a creator standpoint and even the creator educator space is there's so many things trying to tell you what to do and how to do to get more people to consume more of your videos. The thing that most people fail to overlook is that they are creating for a machine instead of creating for people. YouTube is based around people. If when you are searching for something, just like Doc did, you don't care how long it took them to make the video. You're looking for your answers. It's about the person, the problem, and their current right now pain point. We did not need YouTube chapters for us to skip, scroll, and scan through your videos to choose what we wanted or to look at the thumbnail that will populate or whatever, which is why you have in your audience retention graph spikes that spike up and spikes that spike down when people leave, skip, or go back in your videos. We didn't need chapters. It's just helping us to further get to the point. Furthermore, YouTube is already pre-testing this along with the hyperlink stuff where you would add the timestamps so that you could get to those relevant areas. Furthermore, YouTube was already doing this long before anybody did this. So when in search, it gave you what we are now getting access to as clips. To say between 1 minute and 2 seconds and 1 minute and 12 seconds is the specific thing for the answers. Why? Because fast forward way back to 2017, 2018 circa, when they were saying add transcripts to your video and everybody's like, I'm not paying for nobody to do it, or I'm not paying for captions or transcriptions or whatever. Okay, continue to do so. We've seen nothing but increase over increase from Google data statistics on the website to YouTube statistics and average view duration throughout. Because if you answer a portion of my question, you're going to answer the whole thing. I have a 52 or 54 minute video on every menu for every camera on the A6400, and people continuously watch from start to finish, or they go to a specific part that's relevant to them. And at some point, those sections add up. So it's like, stop trying to play this. Like, I think overall for the LGL community, let the whole talk about algorithm, finding it, fighting it, getting over it, beating it, let that go. Find your people, create for your people, and stop all the extra other stuff in between. YouTube is giving you real estate. Google is giving you real estate on their global platform. Learn to leverage it properly to reach your people, and the rest of that stuff falls into place.
Where's my
Good, Tawana.
mic drop sound?
I just did it's called a callback in the comedy, but I just went in Panasonic autofocus. This video had the markers in there.
Still can't focus? Would like
Still
to
can't
focus.
focus.
Hoping that it focused. That's all the channel chapter.
Yeah.
The channel. Hoping focus.
Still can't get it to focus.
Real quick. Still can't get it to focus. Did it focus yet? Did you see it? I'm still looking. It's like, but no.
I
what
think
was
I saw
funny?
It would have been
Focus.
funny if Google said, we have no results for this.
No results. Please re-enter another search. But no, so what's funny is this is, again, industry leading forefront stuff. I use Buzzsprout for our podcast hosting. And when you go in, and I'm pretty sure this is through other people as well, but transcripts and chapters are a thing. So if you're a podcast listener, guess what? It's there already too, and has been. So we have transcripts and we have chapters that are getting added as that became available. Backlog added to those podcast episodes. Because guess what? Those come up in search because those come up on the website. It's a whole other game when it comes to being, it's not even like being a creator per se. It's about hashtag being a creator series. But no, it's about being an entrepreneur. Think like you're running a business and stop trying to play games on YouTube because you're going to lose every time.
Holla. That is super, super funny. It's like the people that spend so much time worrying about what their competition is doing, and they done missed the dang boat. All right, let's run this baby home real quick. I talked about this a little bit last week, but it'll be better because I'm not out here rolling dolo. Instagram launches limits to block unwanted comments in the DM. This was like burgeoning last week, but like it's fleshed out now at this point. So it's it's kind of a thing, bro. I like this. Mainly because you can get hammered real quick by unwanted stuff. The one that kills me, and I don't know if I have a chance to go in and put these words in there yet, but I might. It's the people that come in and say, hey, bro, man, like, you know, for like $5,000, I can get you verified. I was like, I was verified by the doctor the day I was born. What the heck you mean get me verified? You know, but like people are obsessed with that blue check, and you get those kind of DMs. Or, you know, oh, do you do an Amazon review? If you go and you buy this product right here and then do a review on it, we'll refund your money. You can get it for free. And it's like, no, man, I don't want that neither. Like, what are you doing? So
Yeah, and I think
this is cool.
I think the creator has the right to turn this on and off, correct? The Instagram person?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I think the only downside I see it from me is like I don't necessarily follow or subscribe to every single person that I'll comment on, and it's going to hide everything when you turn the limited on. If they're not following you, it's going to hide your comment basically. So
If you're recently following them and you started to comment, or if you don't follow them and you just left a comment. And I think it's just more so or less a filtration versus like completely blocking them. Because again, one of the things that they pointed out is they do want, and the creators do want people to still be able to communicate with them. But they also want to say, like, if I put out something controversial and I say on Instagram, if you're buying this specific gear, you're an idiot and you're wasting your money, and I'm sick of us talking about it on every interview that I go to and blah, blah, blah. Now, let's say it's a rant.
on Sony.
Let's say it's a rant or something, and it goes out, and everybody's like, well, you're stupid because freaking white headphones and
Yeah,
you know,
right.
whatever. So it's just like to say, like, if you just followed me to get over that hump, to say and get in the inbox, say something, or if you saw the post, you're commenting on the post, and then you want to DM me and say something about whatever, then that kind of stuff they're trying to block. And it's just really the rush of
Yeah.
a ton of
Well,
stuff. So I think it'll be
I would totally be
bit.
down for the DM blockage, but it also hides comments of people who don't follow. So,
yeah.
you know, I don't, you know, and it could be good comments and stuff. I get it. And maybe the people who do comment the most are following the creators and stuff like that. So,
I mean,
because I don't want my feed filled up a lot of times, because you know how they do. They be
Yeah, for
blasting
sure.
your feed
For
with
sure.
everybody that you follow.
Well,
So I'll
something
like
else that
go
they-
and watch stuff. You
Damn,
know,
stop
and then
typing
comment.
fast.
I think that's
me.
cool though. I think that's cool though, because the other thing that I've done is that even for people that are long-term followers you or whatever, sometimes people get the same stuff and they get annoying, or it's just like, this ain't gonna fly. It's like, you maybe thought it was funny, it's not, or you're annoying me or whatever. So it's like, I'm trying to think what it's called. I think it is called like mute or whatever. You can
Yeah.
mute that person to where they go to a point that their stuff has to be approved first. Any comments or whatever. Not that you got to unfollow, block, or none of that, but it's just like, I don't know whatever's going to come out your mouth next or something,
Right.
and you're derailing the conversation in the thread and stuff. And it's just like,
Right.
you need to be muted. And then it's like, that's like one step. So I think we can kind of see people going into layers for like an approval of like, are you starting problems? Let's mute you, timeout kind of a deal. And if you're a problem, then we can block you. And, you know, and if you send messages, those are now not seen or
It
whatever.
could be
So
the
I think
don't
it's going to
start
be
none,
layers.
won't be none.
Exactamundo.
You know, the funny thing is, I spoke about this recently. I'm just showing you guys tighter shots. I was joking around with Brian in the Facebook thing on the Ken and Glenn cast, and I was like, Brian, you finna get me in trouble. And I said, dang it. And then Katie was like, yeah, Doc will make that video. And I was like, damn it, Brian, I'm gonna kill you. And then Facebook was like, what? Time out. You said what? And I was like, that's my homie. Like,
Oh.
look at our history. Look, I mean, like, they don't, but it's
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I guess it doesn't understand the nuance of human speak,
It
right?
could switch though so quick though, because in a
Yeah.
moment somebody could say, I don't know, the whole glory man united thing is stupid and retarded and whatever.
Oh.
Like hella offensive. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, hold on, because now you tripping. We were fine. Now I'm about to judo chop you in the throat.
Okay,
So
'cause you know I will. I'll be like, don't, hey now. Hey, don't talk spicy up in here. It's my show.
right. So all of a sudden it's just like, ooh, hold on now. But you know,
She
we've
just
seen this
playing,
on
baby.
live
She
streams and
just
stuff
playing.
though too. You see it in live streams. It's like we was having fun. Then somebody gets sensitive. Like, I don't know, hashtag the combos when the let's be clear finger came up. We need a fades in, comes and swipes down the screen for for most safest stream. Say let's be clear. Okay.
Yes,
one
Kevin.
of
I
those.
saw this the other day too. I think that's good because it would not just block them; it would block them from that account and any other future
And new
accounts
account.
they create. Because what shady people used to try to do is get blocked and then make another account and then try to come through. But they done got better. I'm telling
Yep.
you, my weekend project, among many other things, will be to go find and make me a gift that goes like this. Tom.
Tom.
You got to get Heather together. Like, yo, that is going to be my weekend
The
project.
Tom Cam. Listen.
Tom Cam
The
is my
Tom
life
Cam.
right now. That was the bomb. Oh my goodness, I was just straight leaking.
Look,
out
and
here,
it's just like, so when for those of you who don't know, hashtag at the combos. You can search it on YouTube or whatever. Most Cephas. So him and his wonderful wife Tina, they were doing multiple streams. What was it, like yesterday, day before yesterday, I think it was. So you'll notice multiple streams. He was accidentally hitting the end stream button on his stream deck. Well, get to the point in one of those wonderful streams, about 20 to 26-minute one, I think, or whatever. And so, you know, Mosifus got the jib, got all the different cameras. And then you see he pans to the side angle. And Tina ever so gingerly just turns and just like, Tom, Tom. Yeah, and you have to see. It's so freaking.
Yo, when you get
funny.
the sister pull down the glasses to the end of the nose and look at you, like,
And she didn't break the smile. It's like one of them mama poses. Like, yeah, I told y'all. So you think somebody playing with you, and it's like one of those. It's like, all right, I bet you Heather got 27 Elgato LP arms. Got
yo,
all kinds of gear.
UPS man, the trucks lining up like they on a convoy.
Okay,
Break
did you
one
mean to
17.
order all this stuff? It's like, hey, man, just trying to save my marriage out here in these streets.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Well, not that David ran away. It's a good time to close then.
Where did he go? What do you mean be right back in 2 minutes? What kind of
don't
show
know.
does he think this
He
is?
just do random. He probably buying drawers
That-
again.
Hey, that is you not lying.
He probably
is-
buying
you're not
drawers
lying.
again.
And you know what's funny is that he probably left his audio, put it like on speaker so he can hear stuff. He probably cracking up laughing, probably wet himself a little bit while he dipping off to the side. Hey, I had
At
to
first,
go.
I thought
and do
maybe he was still there because it's like semi-transparent.
Little
But
silhouette,
no,
yeah.
It's just some kind of like screen ghosting from the graphics card. So he's not really
Yeah.
there. Boom.
He's
It would
not
be
really
funny.
there.
We should just put all of us on Be Right Back, and then when he comes
Hold
back,
hold on. Camera junkie, you playing in fire now. You's doing all right. You've been doing all right. You tell the hashtag Tina is hit. You trying to get hit. You better watch yourself.
Oh, he came back already.
You better watch yourself.
I know, right?
busy.
Camera Junkie gonna get cut.
You tripping.
See, you like, Mr. Camera Junkie, we was cool, but I see what you're doing
Listen,
now, okay?
don't start nothing,
You
won't
gonna
be
get-
nothing.
You gonna get cut.
You playing with fire.
Dude, that was super fun. David, was you ordering draws again?
No, I freaking forgot to take my trash out, and then I heard my yard guy, and I was like, "Shit!" So I had to go.
Bruh. I completely remember chasing the truck, and those dudes be
It's like,
quick,
"Don't
right?
leave."
Yo, I'm like, man, if grandma or mom's come home and they
It
see
ain't
these
fine,
cans
it's-
full,
Yeah.
yo, I have my
Well,
little
in
Atari.
bear
and
country,
back
it's a
then-
real issue.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
an
You
issue.
know?
We only
It's
had
an
the
issue.
square joystick with the little handle, and I'm over there playing the Activision one with the ropes. I forgot what it's called. You run, you grab the rope, you swing over the hole, and you keep going. I'm just playing,
yeah.
playing. You hear the
Oh, pitfall.
Yeah,
pitfall.
yeah.
You hear the I was
Yeah.
like, oh, snap, the trash. And yo, throw that joint and like run it. Yo, I'm dragging the trash bags down the street trying to catch them. Because if they came home and them bags were still out there, oh,
Hey,
y'all would
I
have
used to
seen
get
no
gutter
Doc.
with it.
They would have
Screw all
never heard
that.
of Doc.
I'll take that bag out of the trash, go walk it to a neighbor's, somebody that ain't around, they still got they toss it over in they bin. I'm not getting a whooping for nobody. The hell with
Bruh,
all
you
that.
don't even
It's
know.
like
Because you had like one job, Rogue. Take the trash out to the thing. Because, you know, the girls
Yeah.
can't be out there because there'd be bugs and raccoons and rats and whatnot. So you got to
know
handle
what?
it. And I'm like, yo, man.
David said, I heard that. That's exactly what David heard was that. It was like
He had a
the-
flashback.
man.
He had a flashback. He was
It's
like,
my
oh,
yard guy.
bruh.
We'll be
Like,
right
when
back after
Daddy
these
gonna
messages.
come home and beat that ham pots. Oh, now he yelling at Noah.
Yeah, I told you, man. Don't come in here while I'm freaking streaming. Screw you,
No,
Dad.
no, no.
I'm
He's
going
like, should I take
outside."
it to the street? I'm like, duh. Hello.
Oh, you mean that's not his job already? The minute a
it
teenager
is his
came in the
job.
house,
He forgot it. That's part of his
I was gonna
allowance.
say,
Is you
the
know,
minute the teenager came in the house, your trash duties are now over.
yeah, yeah. he wants this thing. You know,
Hey, put the numbers closer
activated.
to the screen. Everybody stop.
know?
Put it on freeze.
It ain't activated
Get
yet.
out of that
Ooh,
minimum
damn, I
focusing
forgot about
distance.
that.
We need the
about that.
clarity.
This- I'm saying,
Doc,
good thing
you
he didn't
smart.
have that Sony joint because they'd have been like, boom, everybody shopping. Hey, you know what's funny is
Everybody
Keith
order
got
a
to take out
second
his own
ZBE10.
trash now though because they went to college, so Keith got to go back to trash.
No, he
duty.
got another. He got another.
No,
little
he
steps.
got the
might
little
need some.
shit.
He got a little.
Yeah, he might need some steps, a little step up, Stu. But it's
To
like,
get
hey,
the trash. I forgot
Yeah.
about little man.
you know what? What you know in the black family, it don't matter. Like I remember, my job was to wash the dishes, and I would pull up that chair, put the back up to the sink, and you washing them daggone dishes. I don't
Yes,
care if you can't reach the
sir.
sink. We gonna
Yo,
We're going to make
we had
you
the chair
gonna
with
be
the
all right.
wicker in the back. You know what
Yes, the
and I
yes,
hated them
that's
because
exactly
sometimes
what
you
we had,
lean
'cause
back on one and the wicker would
and it
stab
trick-
you.
Yep.
You'd be like, ah!
Yes. That's exactly what we had. Because
that
Mama
was
would get
funny.
mad. Mama would get mad if we leaning up next to it. He's like, messing up my chair. Look at it. You got the wicker and stuff all linked back. Like, Mom, it was already like this. Shut up. Like, all right, my bad. Fast forward 20-something years later, my big bottom lip never healed. It's still swole. Some big old rings.
That's super funny, bro. That is super funny because everybody had that old wicker back chair.
Man, let's be clear.
No, don't cry, Keith. You can always go to over wherever and visit David and Noah. You can.
You know, Mosika's been cutting up. If we didn't have this show, I'd be like, send that brother the link. Because we got some
Yeah.
stuff to discuss this week. If we ain't have to, might have to
yeah.
pick up in the group.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm trying to find.
Doc, I'm gonna be sending one your way because speaking of the college kids and stuff,
Man, don't send none of them kids over
Uncle
here.
Doc,
I be the same way. Like, don't.
I just-
listen.
I just got texted the screenshot confirmation. Hold on, let me see if I'm gonna say this right, Doc. Ho umakai? Ho umakai?
No,
Who
what the
Makai?
heck? What?
How do I say? HO''OMAI.
So if there's two O's, how do you say it?
Who?
No, there's an apostrophe. So the apostrophe means a glottal stop.
That's what I said. Ho umakai.
No, you said
Umaki?
HOO, right? So
Well,
ho.
it's HO apostrophe and then
It's not an
OM.
apostrophe. It's
What
an
is it?
okina,
Okay.
and the okina means a glottal stop. So you say ho, and the next word is the next word. Oh, ho'omaikai. Is that what you're trying to say?
Ah,
That's it.
get
What's
it.
that mean?
Ho my key.
Congratulations.
Ho'omaikai? No.
Ho my.
yeah,
Wait, say it
sort
again.
of.
Ho my kai.
Ho'omaikai.
Ho my kai.
Ka.
Ho'omakai.
Ho my makai.
Yes.
It's still coming out country. I get it. However, I'm curious because I get it though.
So,
now that you're talking
It is
about
a
it,
pleasure
it stops.
to offer
Okay,
you admission to the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Did I say it right? Manoa?
Mm-hmm.
So, Uncle
let me
Doc,
do
they coming.
I'm gonna let
That
you
makes
know
so
that
much
right
sense.
now.
I'm glad you explained like what that symbol was because now it's like when you see those words, you don't say who or whatever, but you know it's ho. Like
Yeah,
that makes
that's
so
it.
much sense.
Ho
And I'm not.
my ka e ho one
Ho-oh,
word.
my
Omaka e.
Omaka. E.
No.
Omaka-
Damn, dude,
wait.
listen. Pay attention. The apostrophe, you call it, is called an okina. The okina means to stop. So ho.
did.
Ho.
No, you
Oh.
say ho-oh. It's not. It's because omaka is a word.
yeah.
Get it?
Okay.
So this is three separate words, but it's one word in your brain.
Got you.
Says right.
Got you.
So ho maika. So it's omaika. Ho omaika e. Ho omaika e.
Ho omaika e. Got you.
But together.
That makes
Ho
sense.
omaika e.
Ho
You say it,
omaika
ho
e.
omaika e.
Wait. Ho omaika e.
No, not omaika.
Ho.
Oh.
Omaka. E.
Yeah, okay.
Ho Micah E.
Yeah. But the o, so
Okay.
you do the o together. So ho.
Ho Micah E.
Oh my God, I'm done. Olelo o Hawaii. Ho omaika e. Okay,
Ho
so
Micah E.
for instance, if
Hold
I
my
rolled up to
keys.
you and I said, "Oi, David,
my
pahe oi,"
keys.
right? If I said, "David, pahe oi," that means how are you doing? You say, "Ho mai kai," or you say,
Ho
"O
mai
mai
kai.
kai aloha," right? Which means I am doing good. So my kai is good, right?
Yeah.
So ho mai kai is congratulations, but my kai itself is good.
Jay, tell us some get them hoes right. Listen. Oh my gosh. Listen, we're trying. Here's the thing you got to understand. Both David and I are country. Southern draws stuck in the bottom of our throats. Furthermore, we're legit not playing. I'm seriously trying. Because I'm like, okay, I get the ho
Yeah,
oh. It's like ho oh my
David
key
will
or
hear
whatever.
it and go right back to what he just said.
What he
Okay,
just
I
said.
got it. And then he'll go right back to which he had just came from. What the heck did I just do to the whole overlay after I had the joint locked?
I know. At first, I thought that was like flesh back there. I was like, what the hell's Doc doing?
What the one? Oh gosh, no.
See, now you got me out here in these streets. I got nothing else to put on screen. All right, let me go back and fix it.
I don't know. Hold my keys, cuz.
There you go. There you go. Hold my keys. Hold my keys. That's the one.
Hold
Oh
my
my
keys,
God.
cuz.
Now you sound like Usher. Oh my God.
Listen, ho oh, together.
I just
Yes,
want you to
oh my
know
goodness.
your new future nephew's name is Eric, Doc. His name is Eric. You know.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, that kid, if he can't move weight, he getting sent back home. I'm done.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us this weekend live. We're talking all the things that you need to know about social media strategies and the gear to pull off a professional live stream. If you're looking for Ecamm Live Overlays Professional, as you've seen this week in live, you can go to letsget.live, and it's not a .com. It's the full URL. Go to letsget.live. We have new Ecamm Live overlays coming out with our signature one-click install where you too can look professional with one click of a button. Thanks for joining us this week with our hostess with the mostest, myself, Diana Gladney, Doc Rock, and David the Black Man. It's not a black man. There you go.
Guys, coming up for you in roughly 50 days, fingers crossed, boom. Diana and I will be speaking at People on Video. Hopefully, it still goes because we got tickets booked, room booked, whiskey on ice. Like, we just read, and they're like, why y'all playing out there in New York? Why y'all playing? And then, of course, prior to that, in round about a month, not a little less than a month, about 27
Right.
days, we finna have our next conference like this in here. Oh, I see unable to locate the file. Where in the heck did you put the file,
David,
Doc?
Osifa said, I'm sending them to Hawaii.
That's Diana trying to study Hawaiian.
Are you ready to take your content to the next level? The live streaming market is booming, but with so many options out there, it's hard to know where to start. You've heard about doing live video and other video content on platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook, but you're not sure how to make the most of this or how this is going to help you with your business. You're not sure if creating a YouTube channel is going to help you get more customers or it's just a waste of your time. We will walk you through everything you need to succeed in live video with this 4-day immersive virtual bootcamp. We've got all bases covered, from choosing the right platform for your needs, planning an event, recording epic video content and editing it into something awesome, scheduling posts on social media, promoting your videos, and monetizing them effectively. This course is designed for everyone from total beginners who are just getting started in live streaming to those who want to grow their visibility and increase business by creating more valuable content. Leap into live streaming virtual bootcamp.
You're
Booyaka!
And this
All right,
message
Kay.
is brought to you by. I thought you were adding that to the video, man.
What? This message
Fine
brought
print at the end.
this message brought to you by Miss Diana Gladney.
Yeah. I can't remember what we said last week or the week before, something like that.
Oh, I don't remember something goofy like that. All right, Gay. Boom. Let's go. Let's get it. Have fun,
Deuces.
Kevin. Good to see you. Oh man, now I know what the hang I want to play. Here you go.
Taking it from the top.
rapping at the song.
No, you can't play that on YouTube. Don't play that.
I just knew he's about to smoke it. No, hey, in the middle of the bar.
Okay.